Friday night NBL action sees the Brisbane Bullets hosting the reigning champs, the Sydney Kings at Nissan Arena. Of course, no Aaron Baines, and that'll hurt, but the Kings don't necessarily possess big men. Their game is centred around their guards. Denzel Valentine and Jalen Adams still taking a little bit of time to coexist, but I like the Kings to get it done. So in our Sportsbet same game multi, we'll take the Kings to cover the line. We'll take Valentine to get 4+ assists. He can have 10 assists in a game, and we'll take Alex Tui 10+ points in the Kings and the Bullets in Brisbane.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Well, one man's loss is another man's gain. The next star right there, one of the future stars of Australian basketball, Rocco Zikarsky. With Aaron Baines out, we expect to see him in a higher capacity. And Alex Tui, of course, for the Sydney Kings, another next star who's stamping himself committed to Gonzaga. Said, you know what, US college basketball, I want to come over and be the next Andrew Gaze and apply my trade in the NBL. At least that's what I've been told. But look, Alex Tui and Rocco Zikarsky, two guys that Rocco's a guy that we really want to be able to see, and we're going to be able to see that now with Baines out for a bit.
Well, he gets some opportunities. And the other thing about this is when you've got a guy like Baines, who he'd be much loved within his team. Yes, it provides opportunity from this, but it also provides an emotional out. You know, Aaron Baines has come out and said, yep, I'm sorry, he lost a little bit of control, and they've moved on. But that can rally the team as well, Coach.
Absolutely, and that's why I got the Bullets by 4 tonight with a little less argy-bargy.
A little less argy-bargy. Gazy, where are you heading?
I'm going with, again, for those reasons. I think they're going to get behind and win one for their mate. They're going to win by 3.
And you know what, just to top it off, no one asked me for my prediction, but I'll take Brisbane by 2, just to round it out. But we've got a blockbuster coming up. The Brisbane Bullets up against the Sydney Kings.
Nathan Sobey taking this game single-handedly back.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, you love to see that from Nathan Sobey. Adams responds, as only Jalen Adams can. Adams, why not? Guess what? He's got it again. Got it. It certainly has been a big week for the Brisbane Bullets for reasons that have been discussed ad nauseum. What shouldn't be lost is that the Bullets under new coach Justin Schuller have made a very nice start to the NBL24 season. 2 wins from their 3 games so far, but the challenges don't get much bigger than this as they play host tonight to the 2-time defending NBL champions, the all-conquering Sydney Kings. Hello and welcome. Great to have your company at Nissan Arena. Here is our Mitsubishi Motors ladders as it stands right now, and I'm alongside Batman and Robin for the first time this season, Andrew Gaze and Leonard Copeland. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Who's Batman and who's Robin?
You know who Batman is. Don't even try that.
I'm happy to be Robin.
I'll let you two fight that one out. Speaking of fighting, there is Justin Schuller, the new coach of the Brisbane Bullets. The week that they've had, it's now game time. The Aaron Baines incident has dominated headlines across the league all week long. He had the tribunal hearing last night, but there's a game to be won in about 5 minutes' time. How do they knuckle down and concentrate?
Well, I think you realise you've lost a player that's really important to you. And Copes and I went through this back in '97 when we had Mark Bradke come back in. He wasn't supposed to play. Literally the next night, he went missing. And we had no business when we played against the Magic winning that game, but when you lose someone that's really important to you, one of your brothers in the team, that can inspire the rest of the group. And I'm expecting that's going to happen. We saw what happened with Adam Ford. We don't really know what happened behind closed doors, but clearly it was enough for him to get an extra 3-game suspension on top of the other ones, the excessive disputing and the unsportsmanlike conduct. But that man there, Copes, Tyler Harrison, he's shown a lot of skill. He's improved enormously over the last 4 or 5 seasons, and he's going to get an opportunity.
Absolutely. And they both average about the same amount of points. The problem with this is, though, he hasn't played as much as he should have. Last year, he got injured. The experience for him is going to be overwhelming, I think. To come in here and get that many minutes this early could possibly hurt him. And that's why I think that they probably should go smaller and DJ Mitchell.
I think he's ready, Copes. I think he's done his apprenticeship. And this guy here, Rocco Zakarsky, now here's a guy that has shown no hesitation for a very, very young man. He's got great size. In fact, when you look at what he's done in these short minutes that he's been to play, he's actually earned the right, in my judgment, to play a little bit more. And he's going to get that opportunity without those Baines minutes there. You would think if they do want to keep a similar look with the size, but they both protect the rim. And this man here, Copes, he has come out on fire, shooting a lot, I might add, but 24 points a game is good enough to lead the league.
Absolutely leading the league in scoring, but the fact is he didn't have the ball in his hand as much. Last year he played the point guard position. Now they brought in Shannon Scott, who can calm him down, get him shots when he needs it, and he's just a much calmer player now.
For the Sydney Kings, we've spoken a lot already this season about this man on screen. Jalen Adams won the MVP of the competition 2 seasons ago. 15 games in a row, 15 points in a row 9 times, which is the best active streak of any player in the competition. Is he just finding his feet again here in the league?
Absolutely. Well, I don't think so. I think he's an MVP, and he knows he's an MVP. He walks in with swagger. It is what it is. He leads this team, and Sydney Kings will go as he goes. I just think he didn't have a long preseason, didn't play any games in the preseason, so it takes him a little time to get going, but once he does, he's ready to go.
Drew, we talk a lot about the next stars in the NBL this season, and as we should, because all 8 of them are outstanding prospects. Jalen Galloway is not a next star, but you could argue, is as good as any of our next stars in the competition right now.
Well, you're spot on. He's certainly got that next star characteristics because he's bouncy. And this is what he's been doing really well. He can shoot the ball from the three-point line. He's got great size. He can get to the rim. And what he's been great at is also on the defensive end. He reads the game well in the offensive transition with the way in which the Sydney Kings play. He's got the license to shoot the 3-ball early on. And they've put together a good strategy for him, and he's getting minutes, extended opportunity.
Big game tonight, and we've got a very, very big team assembled. Another legend of the NBL, Derek Rucker, is courtside and making her NBL debut. One of the stars of the Australian Opals team, Alice Koenig. Derek, good evening to you. Alice, good evening. Big game tonight.
It certainly is, and thank you, and welcome to Alice Koenig. Alice, the bosses said we got to make this set look better, so here is Alice. But look, let's get into this game. Fantastic atmosphere. We know everything that's gone on in the lead-up, Alice. How do you think this is going to affect the Brisbane Bullets?
Well, Derek, thank you for having me. First game here. Basketball is well and truly alive in the River City, or Bris Vegas, as you guys like to call it. We've got WNBL, we've got NBL. Look, Brisbane have a test tonight, and that's what you want as a player. We need players to step up. Players. Rocco Zakarsky we've spoken about. Matt Johns. We want DJ Mitchell to step up, but this is why we play as athletes, to step up on the big stage.
And I think there's a lot of room now for the Bullets to relax. The mystery of what was going to go down with this team during the week is now gone. They're quite clear what's going to happen. They've got 5 games to play without Aaron Baines, and they've got to move forward. The Sydney Kings, on the other hand, they're going to be a championship contender, Alice, but the path is going to be slightly different. What are you looking for from them?
I'd love to see Jonah Bolden really step up and be a leader in this team. I'd like to see Denzel Valentine really make his mark on this league. Like you said, it's a tough road for them. Can they do it this season?
All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Derek, and isn't it good to have a bit of class on this team? Like, we're just a bunch of battlers, and we bring someone in like Alice who sharpens us all up and makes us look a whole lot better.
It is, and you spoke about swagger between Derek Rucker and Leonard Copeland. We are oozing all over the joint, just enormous amounts of swagger. And let's not forget the Sydney Kings are doing this without one of their main recruits in DJ Hogue. So they've got still some great talent still on the outer waiting to come in.
I think he's meant to come in round 4, isn't it? Round 4, he's meant to be back.
I think he's hoping to be back next week. He's off the tip. That's as quick as it gets straight away from Sydney. 4 seconds.
Oh.
Galloway with the opening points. Smith tees off. Early look for Chris Smith. They need him to get going.
Doesn't he have a beautiful shot? Just nice, easy stroke. Lets it fly. Nothing but net.
He's been 4 from 15 from outside so far this season. His shooting is better than that. Speaking of shooting, Alex Tui picking up from where he left off last Friday.
as you mentioned, Coach, DJ Mitchell gets an early look at it. He's only been averaging 9 minutes a game, and there's a nice set. And Scott finding...
Was that a nice set, or was that a blow-up by the Sydney Kings on the defensive end?
Bit of both, I think.
Adams. Valentine had to go and rescue that ball. Still plenty of time available on the shot clock. Tara Harrison reaching in. A big shout out to the Brisbane Bullets as well. Wearing their blackout game strip. They're raising awareness for the Black Dog Institute, which is fantastic. There is an incredibly revealing and raw video available now on the Brisbane Bullets social media of Matt Johns and Gabe Hadley this afternoon. Matt Johns talking about his own battles with mental health and
awesome,
being really candid, and Gabe Hadley talking as one of his best mates and the support that he's offered. The more of these conversations we can have, the better.
100%. It's critical these days, and I think it's great that people now, when you're having some problems, you're not insular, you're prepared to share it. It's like any issue you've got to deal with. The best way to deal with it is to be open about it, and people being willing to let us know that you've got some problems so you can get some help.
Especially men.
Yeah. Sure. I tell you, Scott made a good start.
All of the jerseys that Brisbane are wearing tonight will be available for auction. Completion of this game, you can jump on the Bullets website for more information.
Well, I reckon the first team that plays low defense might take the lead.
Well, Steve Trans, the aggressive attacking nature early on. By both these teams, they want to get up and down. Sydney Kings in particular, that's been their calling card the last couple of seasons, and it hasn't changed so far from what we've seen this season. And why would you, with the success that they've been able to have?
But Drew, you got to say it's a different team. I mean, we talk about the Sydney Kings. They've won two years in a row, and everyone's looking at the brand, but it's a much different team with a new coach.
Sobey from outside. White hot to start this season.
And it's coming off a nice set. They have a stagger screen for him, and that, certainly from the eye test where he looks his best, when they run something for him, he works off the ball. And they might be similar looks, but the process that they go through to get him those looks, he becomes a lot more efficient.
Snooze timeout. Bullets lead 10-7 early stages at Nissan Arena. It's a big challenge ahead of new coach Justin Schuller, and we caught up with him pre-season and said one of the first things he wanted to concentrate on was building a new Brisbane culture.
The first thing was really go to the core of who we wanted to be and create an identity. We needed to have a defensive edge, and we just needed to have a culture and habit of just wanting to do the work. That makes it straight away go in the direction you want it to go, where you've got like-minded people that want to get in, work hard, but really buy into where we're trying to go. And you know, culture's a word that gets thrown around, but it's your daily habits, and that's something we speak about all the time, is what's our habit today. And you know, right now what I love is the accountability on that is day in, day out. And that's what I think gives us a chance of real success.
Well, he's only 3 games into his tenure as coach, but so far so good, you'd have to say.
Well, he's had a great initiation in the way he's been able to work under Dean Vickerman. He's coached teams at the NBL 1 level, Kilsyth for a while, Geelong for a little while, so he's had that head coaching experience, and also at the junior level. So he's done a good apprenticeship, so he comes in understanding what he wants to do, like he mentioned on the defensive end, and the systems that he wants to put in place with all the learnings that he's had throughout that journey.
I spoke to D-Mac about him, and D-Mac says, man, this guy knows his stuff, you know, so.
Away from the corner. That's a nice calming basket.
I'll tell you one thing, Jack. They're shooting the lights out, that's for sure.
Long may it continue. Courtside, Alice Koenig.
Coach Justin Schuller was really impressed with his team's start to the game, but he said we've got to tighten up on D. Obviously, it's too many points here. There's no defense being played. But he was really happy with the start of the team.
Well, 66% both teams are shooting from outside.
Outrageous.
And 80% from the field. Both teams.
The confidence that Galloway's playing with right now as well, he's being rewarded. His little 11.5 minutes, he's he's averaged in his career. This has been in the first 3 games, 26 minutes a game.
More importantly, though, he's averaging 3.5 steals a game, Drew.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in this league.
Maybe I'm sitting next to the GOAT.
Galloway took the bump. It's the first of Valentine. Galloway relocates. At that time, though. No Josh Bannon for Brisbane tonight. Still out with a knee issue for potentially another week. Aaron Baines also not playing due to suspension. And as Drewy mentioned, no DJ Hogue still for the Sydney Kings, their big off-season recruit.
Oh,
Harrison goes to work.
Nice move.
And that's a product of how you're going to penalise the switches. They come down, they identify he's got the mismatch, they go into him, and he comes with an easy one. And that's what happens when you fall over when you're trying to play defence and you've got a former MVP.
Hey, you would know a lot about that falling over. Let me tell you, bro. You know about that.
Hunter at the top of the key. To first to Adams, gets to a nice spot in the mid-range, and Jalen Adams is getting going early.
That's way too early, D-Ruck. You can't give that man that type of look from the free throw line.
You know, one thing about playing at Nissan Arena, it's such a good basketball venue. It's warm in here. The rims are outstanding. It's a great surface to play on. The crowd is nice and tight into the game. So, you know, we talk about wanting to see some defense play, but sometimes the offensive players just feel so confident and unstoppable.
Derek, we don't want to see any defense play. I want to see offense. I want to see that ball go through the hoop.
And you know what? And it's funny how Drewy is always talking about somebody else shooting a lot, talking about Sobey scoring a lot of points, but he's also shooting a lot. Leave that man alone.
No problems with it. I love the way he's going about it. I just think that there are still those times where maybe he's just got to have a little bit more trust in his teammates in those important moments and rely on them to getting the ball, Derek, in the right circumstances.
Sam McDaniel, what a recruit he's been for Brisbane so far. Comes up with the ball with his second unit, and Shannon Scott misses. Zikarsky closes the lid.
That's what the big fella can do right there, Drewy. Just throw it up by the rim and let him go clean it up.
He's been into the game for barely 60 seconds. There's his first points of the night. Oh, big man's got to track after it. Absence creates opportunity. That's what's in front of both Tyrell Harrison and Rocco Zikarsky for the next 5 games. Glover did well to deny that pass. Here he is now, feet set at the other end. It'll be a hold, the basket will be waved away. Angus Glover's an interesting one to start the season, Drewy. Let's take a look at the Harvey Norman replay firstly. Here is Rocco off the miss. Just a little jump for a man that's
a little jump.
7'3". Angus Glover shot the 3-ball last season at 43%. He was the hero of Game 5. He's 2 of 10, and if you include that miss, 2 of 11 from outside to start the season.
Well, that's true, but Coach Derek and I, when you think of 2 and 11, then we're just getting warmed up. And so he's got to have, as a shooter, he's got that evidence that he saw last season, and he knows he's going to knock it down. So, again, even Derek would agree with me on this one. 11 when you're such a good three-point shooter, that is still a relative small sample size.
Yeah, it is.
McDaniel lost the handle. Adams stole it away. And Johns did well defensively. Didn't foul. Down low to Zikarsky. And the crowd rises one, but the man who's had more steals than anyone in the competition. Jalen Galloway strips him of the ball. Bolden for 3.
And that's where Zikarsky's got to know the scout with Galloway with those hands. Just keep that ball higher to not allow that reach in.
Sobey guarded by Glover. Deep 3. That's a fair way off.
Hey, Black. Hit.
Foul on Mitch Norton. Big weekend for the Bullets. We've spoken about them being 2-1 to start this season, Copes. They've got Sydney tonight, obviously. And then they have Melbourne in their horizons on Sunday afternoon in Melbourne. So this is a really interesting weekend to kind of get a gauge of where Brisbane fit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, if they can take care of home, then you go into Melbourne being much more comfortable about that game. But if you lose this one, then all kinds of nerves when you hit the Melbourne on Sunday.
And Brisbane, they're mixing it up a little now on the defensive end. That time, last couple of possessions, they're taking a look at a zone defense, and that may be to try and protect Zikarsky down low.
This is a very different looking Brisbane lineup on the floor right now. Extra pass for Kawhi Noi. Got it.
Well, look at this team. Look at what they've got on the floor with the Sydney Kings. That is going to test any team from the perimeter. Jonah Bolden inside and surround the floor with shooters.
Shooting at 47% from outside to start the season, Kawhi Noi, and the Kings skip away to a nice 8-point lead. He's such a confidence player, Kawhi Noi, and when he's on, he is on, and he's made a very, very good start to NBL24, as have the Sydney Kings, and as has Fleur McIntyre, who we caught up with pre-season, and she does a lot of work with this Sydney Kings second unit, and she spoke about why it's so good.
I think defensively is probably where people will notice the greatest amounts of change in our style of play. I think the benefit for us is with the turnover that we've had, we've brought in 3 elite imports, one that's been an MVP of this league before and one that's led the Sydney Kings before. And to our advantage, I think we have the deepest and the best bench in the entire league. We've got guys that have come off that bench, they know what it takes to win a championship, and I love our bench mentality because they step onto that court willing to do whatever it takes for us to go and win, and that infects our entire group, and I think you'll see a similar mentality from the Sydney Kings as we go for this three-peat.
Well, they just keep having the ability to reload, and that's what happens when you get really good people in the organisation. They can adjust, and as Fleur mentioned, they've picked up really high quality imports, and right now they're only playing with 2 of them. And you know, with Bogues and his connections, and Luke Longley and his connections,
and money. Don't forget about that, bro.
Money helps a little.
Yeah.
But taking, I don't think it's a risk, but taking a chance on Jonah Bolden to get back to his best, and he's got back to his best a lot quicker than I thought. Was heading that way.
Daniel beats the clock.
He's been really good this year. I love his role. Coming off the bench, playing good defense, but he's able to knock that shot down as well. Wow. Speaking of knocking down a shot, somebody better find...
Well, that's where the defense is right there. He's the guy, you've got to make him put it to the floor. They're just coming out soft closeout. He's just made one, and clearly there'd be enough evidence to see what he's doing on the season. And there's a man that can play and can shoot the ball, and hasn't had a lot of opportunities so far this season, but that's what he does well, DJ Mitchell.
Absolutely. Great shooter, great size, can play different positions. Oh, nice. Was that a dunk?
It's a little PP dunk, just not fully fledged,
That's
throwing
what
it
we
down.
call a gazy dunk. That's what we call a gazy dunk right there.
Where their hand just scrapes the rim.
Fingertip.
Yeah. These two teams are shooting the ball beautifully. 9 of 17 combined from outside to start the game. Norton, just as I say that, she barely draws iron. The Kings by 7. Bolden takes it straight at Zikarsky. Valentine had room to shoot. Final minute coming up of this opening term. It's been fast, it's been high scoring. And Norton from the other corner, much better result.
Wow.
Good bounce back.
Nice bounce back from an air ball to nothing but net. Maybe he likes the right side.
White in transition. Gets it to go all of a sudden. Back to a 2-point game. Bruce trying to create. Fur back up top to Glover. Shot clock at 9. Forces Mitch Norton into a foul. That's Brisbane's 4th period.
Good, as you mentioned, Coach, real good minutes from Sam McDaniel. He comes in, the work that he does, even if he's not picking up the steals, he's so physical out there and versatile. He knocked down a shot, and he's come in and had an impact. There we see the man you're talking about in the background there, one of the greatest to ever pull on a jersey in the NBL, and Darryl McDonald. And just to find players where others couldn't.
Pass off the inbound.
You know what I like about Brisbane, though? Their bench with White, Norton, McDaniel coming in to give Scott and Sobey a rest on the defensive end. It's like no other. I mean, if you got those guys pounding and hounding you.
It's relentless.
Inside for Harrison, missed the cutter. And Brisbane will get, Sydney I should say, will get 5.2 to work with.
The idea was right. Harrison has got good hands, and his ability in those situations normally to find the open man. If you're there and you're cutting his size, he'll find you. You saw it in the game last week. Some high-low action. Him getting touches around that elbow, that low post position. Usually good things happen.
Sean Bruce on the move. He's got himself nice and deep and scores at the quarter-time buzzer.
Nice shot.
Sydney Kings take a 4-point lead into quarter-time. 29-25 at Nissan Arena. They have come out all guns blazing, these two teams. The second quarter is coming up next in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Such an impressive one-on-one duo there. So impressive. A signed bullet ball for the both of you. All courtesy of our great friends at All Properties Group. Thank you, Nashi. Very well done to those two young men. Thank you again to All Properties Group, the wonderful supporters of the Brisbane Bullets. It's a 4-point game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get our boys on top by half-time. All right, Brisbane, are you with us? Are you coming along? Are you coming to the right? Are you here to support your team? If you are, make some noise!
Friday night hoops in Brisbane as the Bullets play host to the Sydney Kings. It's 29-25 at quarter time. Sydney leading the way over Brisbane. Jalen Galloway and Jalen Adams have made really nice starts to the game for Sydney, as has Kawat, who is the game's leading scorer with 8 points. And the Bullets are trying to do something which not many can do, and that is match Sydney at their own speed and their own tempo. It's whether they can handle it for 4 quarters. We saw a stack of Mitsubishi threes in that first quarter, and Seen a stack of Mitsubishi foam hands in the crowds. We've got great prizes up for grabs every single week, including the brand new Mitsubishi Pajero Sport Coat. It'd be nice to get your hands on one of those.
Would be nice. I've got my hands on Daisy's. He wanted me to wash it the other day, so he dropped it by my house, and I gave it a clean.
Mitchell again knocking down the three. In that first quarter, it was lights out. 61% for Brisbane, 57% for the Kings, both on fire from the three-point line, and no free throws in the quarter. So up and down, free-flowing affair.
I don't think either coach would be happy with their defense, though. I mean, offensively they look great, but you got to play some defense. There's too many wide-open shots, too many wide-open threes. Not enough pressure. So
enormous pressure, Copes, on the D-Trans, and both teams looking to push the ball. And we've seen a bit of zone from both these teams, and there's another one. Gee whiz, Valentine.
Derek said it. That gym is a shooter's gym.
Derek Rucker courtside.
And that's true, Copes, and we would have loved to have played here, but look here. Somehow the Kings are going to try and disrupt this Brisbane offense, because Brisbane are doing a very good job as well. They're creating excellent opportunities. They're shooting almost 50% from the three as well, and this is not how the Kings plan on winning basketball games. Alice, what do the Bullets have to say?
Coach Schuler was very calm, but he was not happy after that last possession. Sobey was very vocal in the timeout. He wants a great shot, not a good shot. He wants a great shot. They've got to stop that three-point shooting. They're shooting into hula hoops down there, Derek.
Derek Rucker and Australian star Alice Koenig courtside tonight. Fully loaded for Friday night basketball.
Baseline.
Just heard Justin Schuler in the background just saying we need to calm down a bit here, boys.
Well, it's those half chances. That was another one. Now, they got away with it, but you're seeing things that are almost there. And as Alice was reporting, I think they feel like if they do get it a little bit more into their actions, that they're going to get even better shots.
Smith with a hand in the face. The tougher the shot, the more chance he is of making it.
I can't say it enough. That shot's just so pretty, Drew. He lets it go, man.
He's a flat-out shooter. He comes as advertised. His first season here in the NBL. Shannon Scott to the other end. Now the Kings settle in.
Going up. This is going up.
Ooh. A little push by Jalen Adams, and he's now got 9 points to become the game's leading scorer.
Is it that easy? It just looks so easy out there.
Well, it is not complicated. Spread the floor, get some penetration, and when you've got players like Valentine prepared to make the extra pass like that in transition, it becomes easy.
So this feels like a game that's being played on Sydney's terms right now. Is this sustainable for Brisbane?
Well, that remains to be seen, and I think that they've got to be trying to control the tempo a little bit more down this end of the floor. They are capable of getting some decent shots like that one. And with the switching that's going on, they can basically get any matchup that they want. Get it through some action, get an on-ball, get a switch, and then go at it.
Adams again.
Tell you what, if Sydney continue to shoot the ball the way they're shooting it, open shots, Brisbane ain't got a chance. Somebody better play some defense around here.
I'd like to retract the pre-game statement that I made that he might just be finding his feet in his return to the league.
He found him.
I think he's good. Brisbane gets possession back this time.
Why not, big fella? Take the shot. Working for everybody else.
Johnson throws a bullet to Galloway. It's good. Wow. Sydney shooting the lights out.
8 of 14, Jack, and they're making the extra pass, and very unselfish. You're going to love what you see if you're a Sydney Kings fan.
Wow. Timeout, Brisbane. Snooze timeout, because they have gone to sleep defensively in this second quarter. 42-33, Derek Rucker courtside.
Well, guys, you guys see what's going on, just knocking down shot after shot. And now it's time for Brisbane to enter their zone. We've seen Justin Schuler do this earlier in the season. He did it against Adelaide in the opening game. Let's change it up. Let's go some three-quarter court trap. let's go some zone defense. You've got to disrupt Sydney's rhythm right now, because right now they're spreading them out. It's obvious that Brisbane can't contain their guys one-on-one, and then it's just target practice from the outside.
Spot on, Derek. And right now they're not taking away the three ball. Have a look at these threes in the extra passes. That one, he just weaves his way to it, gets to his spot and shoots it. And then this is just moving the ball, swinging the ball, penetration. You need some help. Little lucky, but then the good find by Hunter and then knocking it down. It's simple action, but the way in which they can get into the paint and then kick it out, it's nice to see when the ball is going in the rim.
Reminds you of the good old days, doesn't it, Gazy?
42-33, a reminder still to come tonight. As soon as we finish up at Nissan Arena, we take you straight to the West RAC Arena. Melbourne travelling, taking on the Perth Wildcats. It's a rivalry that we don't need to try and artificially manufacture. There are two teams that they just don't get along, particularly when they play at RAC Arena, Coach.
Absolutely, that is going to be a very good game. I can't wait.
Sobey against the clock. It's all happening for Sydney in this second term, and not so much for the Bullets. Sobey drives and scores.
Great move. Nice drive. But Sydney are playing with that Golden State mentality. Swing, swing, and just let it fly.
Nathan Sobey, the leading scorer with 7 points. Leads the competition in points per game after 2 rounds, Nathan Sobey.
Yeah, again, we spoke about him earlier. He's just playing so much more comfortably now. Now that he's got Scott, who's got the ball in his hands and finding him on the wings.
Scott not out there at the moment. White, Zakarsky, McDaniel, Smith, and Sobey. Here he is, isolating Noy. Drives all the way in and misses the layup.
Well, that's the type of action that I'm talking about. That if you can get any matchup because they switch, so you just need to work on your D-trans. And that's just where Sobey, he makes that D-trans not on. Make that layup, which he's going to make 99 times out of 100. He just missed an easy one. But the action that they went through the last time, get a matchup you like, and then get to the rim.
It's 9 made threes now for Sydney. As that White draws contact. 9 made threes in a quarter and a half of basketball.
Wow. Something has to change, Joey. There's no way.
That's the one. You make that shot, but then straight away they're off to the races, and it's hard. You're playing 5-on-4 with Sobey getting caught up on the support there, just a step late, and the Sydney Kings are just in a full attack mode and let it fly. Blackmores, get him some vitamins. Help him out. Little pick-me-up, please.
What sort of vitamins? Just like the ones that pick you up a bit?
Just a little something just to get things to try and change things up.
Not the ones that you need for your bones and to keep them together. Derek Rucker courtside.
Well, to steal one of Drew's lines, you would think that the Kings would regress to the mean here with their three-point shooting. But if they don't, Brisbane are better off jamming, playing tight to their men outside the three, and giving up dribble penetration and trying to contest in the lane.
Something different.
Because right now the numbers game is going terribly wrong for them.
Spot on. Pick your poison almost. Make them do something different. Now the problem, D, is that they're getting some pretty good action at the rim as well. Oh dear.
Now that's a bigger problem, Drew, right there, though. When you have a wide open three and they're knocking them down.
They're 10 of 18, Coach.
10 of 18 in the first half, Drew.
They've had 30 field goal attempts. 18 have come from the three-point line, and they've been white hot.
Kawhi Noy has 3 of them now. He knocked down 6 in round 1. He's seen them well tonight as well. Sobey tries to force that one. Bullets can't, the Kings, I should say, you can hardly miss right now. That time, Noy unsuccessful.
Well, they can't, but the Bullets aren't shabby themselves. They're 7 of 13 from the three-point line. But with the switching, there you go, there's Sid again. And again, Sobey takes advantage of that matchup with Noy. This time, he makes it.
The transition defense is horrendous. Is it horrendous?
Well, that one wasn't a good example of it because it's from a made basket. And they're still running out of it on a made basket. This is just a really well-oiled machine, the Sydney Kings, and how they want to push the ball.
Yeah, you scored 2 on this end, we'll hit 3 on the other end.
Isaac White saying that he deflected it, but Glover touched it last. Angus Glover, like any potentially guilty person, did just walked away and pretended like he didn't know what had happened. No. Noy for 3. That one's deep.
Surely they can't continue to shoot like this, Joey.
Well, you're right. It's the numbers would suggest that they're going to taper, but it's how much of a head start you're going to give.
Do you offensively slow it down, maybe move the ball around?
Look at this.
Harrison blocked over the back by Bolden.
Great help. Great help on the switch. They had the mismatch. They went to it, but the help came.
11-point lead to Sydney. And Bolden tips it in over the top of Shannon Scott.
They can do no wrong.
It's a 13-point lead now for Sydney, which is a game-high lead. Alice Kunek courtside.
Guys, you can just see that Sydney has absolutely upped their pressure. They're diving on the ball. They're getting after loose balls. And Brisbane are really struggling to score, clearly. And conversely, on their other end, they're just driving to the basket, open threes. This is when Brisbane really need to pull together as a group, stay structured, stay focused, play together.
Absolutely, Alice, and here we see that help that we were talking about. There, the mismatch was evident, and down low, Scott's trying to do the right thing and box out, but just size prevailing. And Jonah Bolden with the putback, and this is a time, as I think, Derek was alluded to, try something different. Maybe you're going to give up, offer less help. Maybe on an on-ball screen, which we haven't seen a lot of them because they're so wide open, you trap it, you try and be disruptive just to change the flow and the tempo of the game, because very, very comfortable right now for the Sydney Kings.
I got something for you.
Please.
How about stay with your man. Forget the switching. Just everyone guard their guy. If you can't guard your man, come on over here and sit next to me.
Well, there's a flop warning on Isaac White, but Copes, you're right, but there hasn't been a lot of it because they're just 5 out and they haven't needed a switch. They're just driving and kicking it out.
Well, if you can't guard him, come on over here. I got a seat that's nice and warm for you, and I'll find somebody that can.
Well, maybe another alternative that Brisbane can look at, and let's be honest, they're right in this ball game. It's not like they've been terrible. Shooting at 51%, 53 from the threes. The 7 turnovers have hurt them, but they're battling away. All the rebounds have tied up, so it's not like they're miles away from it.
The problem is the other team's playing twice as good.
And then maybe you do what you were suggesting, just small ball. Just go small ball on the defensive end for Brisbane to try and keep them in front.
Andrew Gaze, Leonard Copeland in commentary. Alice Kunek and Derek Rucker courtside. Glover unsuccessful.
But how does he get that wide open in the corner? What's happening here?
It's high scoring, but it's a tempo that certainly suits the Sydney Kings. They've won 2 championships off the back of it. Bolden drags in rebound number 6 to go with his 4 points. Adams back out for Glover. Shot clock at 5. The ball constantly moving. Harrison threw it off the head of Bolden, and it landed back with the Bullets. Sobey backs down on Glover. Basket won't count.
And this is, we might have to start going to the record books as well. We've only seen 4 free throws in this game. Kings have yet to get to the free throw line.
They don't need to. They're shooting.
Well, that's right.
They're jacking threes, man. Why would you shoot free throws?
Well, that's true. It's hard when you're blazing away from the and doing it well.
Doing it well.
10 threes in a half. And still got a couple of minutes to play.
Derek Rucker.
And it's good stuff, too, from the Kings because they've got 14 assists on their 21 buckets, Andrew. And, you know, you always love to see that type of ball sharing and good teamwork leading to the good look that they're getting from the 3. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself and going through all the different ideas on how Brisbane can slow this train down. And it reminds me back to Game 3, West Sydney versus Adelaide, when Adelaide came out and absolutely torched us to win the championship. I'm dealing with some trauma down here, guys.
Is that when Willie Farley was just doing some
Michael Jordan-ish type stuff?
Minute 30 left in the half. Kings lead by 10 and really set that up early in this second quarter. We need to have a little win defensively. They forced Jalen Adams into a tough shot. Zakarsky has the seal over the top of Tui. That might be a name we hear a lot of in the same sentence in years to come. Alex Tui, Rocco Zakarsky.
Well, let's hope so.
Two more for Adams.
He's just so good, isn't he?
It is. It's the body control.
He plays at his pace, too, yeah.
He gets into that traffic and is able to just hang a little bit, wanting to get the foul, and then the soft touch. That has MVP type look about it.
He's got 14, leading scorer in this first half. Not too sure Justin Schuller was pleased with that one.
Yeah, the execution just not there, but it's the good hands. When you switch, it wasn't a passive switch. He was in there, he's digging at the ball when he gets the deflection.
Shot clock and game clock in unison to finish the first half. Sobey fires. That rattles out. Still plenty of time here for Sydney to get a nice-looking shot. They've got shooters all over the floor.
No, we're going up. 2 shots. 2 shots.
Free throws to come for the Bullets.
Hold. 2 shots.
Well, our good friend Peter Hooley has just tweeted that the most threes made at Nissan Arena, 17 by Melbourne United back in 2021. So that's in jeopardy. 10 already for the Kings. So
good of Halls just to get the abacus out on one of his nights off.
That's what he does.
Do the numbers.
Sorts of statistics.
2 shots, guys. 2.
Alex Tui, 14 points last Friday night against Tasmania. Justin Schuller just got a little behaviour warning.
Just calm down, Justin. Just calm down. We've had enough trouble out of you guys in Brisbane.
Tui makes both. This coach Mahmoud Abdel Fattah. Barking instructions. Doesn't want to give up a late bucket. Shannon Scott from halfway. The Sydney Kings are white hot right now. 56-42 they lead at halftime.
It is, and we spoke about it. They started to just cool off ever so slightly. They ended up 10 of 22 from the three-point line, and although the margin is 14, it's been a high-quality ball game, and still a lot of things going right for the Brisbane Bullets. Just got to work out what they can do to tidy up some things on the defensive end.
Let's get over to Derek Rucker, courtside.
Down here at Quad Noi, you continue to provide the spark off the bench for the Sydney Kings. 11 first-half points, 3 threes. Your coach must instill a lot of confidence in you.
Yeah, definitely. And also, you know, it's just repetition, all the work I put in. You know, I'm just ready for my name to be called, and that's what I did.
What's the key? You know Brisbane are going to come back. What is the key to keeping them down in this second half?
obviously, you know, stop Sobey from driving in and getting easy fouls. And also, you know, we got to rebound as a collective. If we do that, I think we'll blow this game pretty
Good first half, Quad. Be careful walking out to the locker room.
Too soon, D. It's too soon.
Too soon. Send all inquiries to D. Rucker.
That was funny.
On Twitter, Instagram, whatever other social media platform he's on all of them.
That was
56-42 at halftime at Nissan Arena. Halftime show's coming up next. Help us all.
That was pretty good.
Come on, D.
Let's go.
If you like three-pointers, then this is the game for you, because at halftime, the Sydney Kings are on fire. 10 of 22 from deep. They lead 56-42 over the Brisbane Bullets, and they've got some adjustments to make, no question about it. Brisbane in quarter number 3, Andrew Gayes and Leonard Copeland. The Kings are doing what we know Sydney can do, and when they get hot, they get really, really hot.
Well, they do, and it's been impressive, the unselfishness. They put it to the floor, any sort of help, they're kicking it out and finding the open man, and they're knocking them down. 10 of 21 is some outstanding three-point shooting, and somehow or other, in this half-time, Brisbane have got to figure out how do we break that. And I think it starts with ball pressure. Derek mentioned it a little bit in that just staying a little closer, being there to be a deterrent, but just be much, much more physical on the ball so they can't distribute it as easy as they have so far in this first half.
Copes, as we take a look at our halftime highlights with thanks to Hungry Jacks, let's just have a look at some of the looks that Jalen Adams is getting at the moment and how much space he has.
He's so smooth, look. Like Drew said, they're switching, and they're switching too much. Like on this pick and roll right here, the bigs are dropping, and they're giving him a wide open free throw shot. That's just not good enough because he's an MVP type player that can get his shot whenever he wants it.
Well, Coach, I don't actually think Brisbane are doing as much switching. They're trying to fight over, but in that drop situation, they've just been too deep. There was the free throw there. That time, you try and gap it with you, and he gets in there, the little hang time around the basket. And Jalen Adams is a stud. 14.6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from threes, and the game is just coming to him. We saw in those early games, the first game of the season, looked like he might have been pushing it a little bit to get himself going. But right now, when he's in this frame of mind, he's finding people, he's shooting the ball well, and you've got to somehow or other be disruptive, and he hasn't been disrupted at all tonight.
It's a very good-looking Blackmore shot chart at half-time for Jalen Adams. Let's get to the newsroom. The best newsbreaker in Australian basketball is Olgun Ulich. Olgun, let's just recap for those who might have missed a little earlier on Aaron Baines, the suspension of 5 games. Yes, we understand that, but was there any thought at any stage from Brisbane to potentially appeal some or all of it?
There was. The initial word we got from the tribunal was that the Brisbane Bullets did have a desire to appeal the charges. Later that night and earlier this morning, we sort of got a sense that maybe they weren't going to do that, and they sort of wanted to use this decision to move on, to move forward, give Aaron Baines some time to breathe, and they could move forward as a franchise. But I'm curious what Drewy, Copes, you think of this game when we look at the amount of threes that the Sydney Kings are shooting and hitting. And Baines is a really tough guy to lose because he can defend in space a bit better than guys like Tyrell Harris and Rocco Zikarsky. And then missing Josh Bannon is also something we have to talk about because he's someone who can play small ball 5. I'm curious that the omission of Baines in this game and what that means for this outcome we're seeing so far.
Olgun, while we've got you, you spoke about this earlier in the pre-game show. I think there'd be a lot of Adelaide 36ers fans who would love to know what's going on with their roster, and in particular, whether that's going to include DJ Vasiljevic, a man very well known to the Sydney Kings.
Look, it probably will at some point. The question is when. Vasiljevic is currently in Adelaide. He's working out with the 36ers currently, and so this seems inevitable. It's just a matter of when this process is going to come to a head. The process has to go through the Sydney Kings. They have to be given a reasonable amount of time to exercise their right of first refusal with DJ Vasiljevic. Until that process happens, which I'm told will go beyond this weekend, until that process happens, then Vasiljevic can't sign anywhere.
Copes, I know you've spoken about it this week on NBL Overtime. Drew, we haven't got your thoughts either on DJ and whether he fits the Adelaide 36ers. They are very guard heavy. Does a guy like him fit?
Great players fit anywhere, and he is a very good player, and it might mean a bit of disruption to some of the other talent on the floor. But if I'm DJ Vasiljevic and I'm looking at the way the Sydney Kings are playing right now, he would fit perfectly back into that lineup as well. Hey, anytime you can knock the ball down like DJ Vasiljevic, there's going to be a spot for you on a roster. Whether it's perfect or not remains to be seen with the Adelaide 36ers. But when you've got a chance to pick up a player like DJ Vasiljevic, you'll do whatever you possibly can to find a way to make it work.
Been trying his hand in the NBA, had an Exhibit 10 contract. Copes, even in the short time that he was there, what would he have learned?
I think he learned that how good he is. Look, he didn't make the NBA, but he's still a very confident player. And we knew DJ when he was very young. It's his mentality. When you got a guy like that who wants the ball, who runs after the ball, and can knock it down, he's a treasure. And you got to put him on the team.
Olgun, as always, thanks for your work. The best newsbreaker in Australian basketball. Part of our coverage on NBL Fridays. We're back with the second half on the other side of this. It's 56-42. The Kings leading the way over the Bullets.
basketball, isn't it? It's always tough enough. And you get to that day, boys. You guys are going to be really hard. I'm going to build that. So you've got Sam who can build tough. It's going to help you out. Really tough. And in the end. You did something. Go get something useful. Boys, we're ready to go. Put that down. Not bad. It's not bad. You gotta be kidding me. Tailored to push the limits of up-and-coming basketball enthusiasts and refine their core abilities, the Brisbane Bullets development programs offer an engaging experience. These programs, led by accredited coaches, create a dynamic training environment that both supports and challenges young athletes.
Round 3 action in the Hungry Jacks NBL and NBL Friday. Doubleheader Brisbane playing Sydney, and as soon as we finish up here, we head off next to RAC Arena in Perth for the Wildcats playing host to Melbourne United. At the main break though, 56-42, Andrew Gay's Leonard Cope.
Well, I tell you what, the Bullets would have gone in at halftime and Shula wouldn't have been happy, Jordan. I mean, yes, we're shooting the ball well, but there's no way you can let the Sydney Kings continue to shoot the ball like this and think you're going to get a win.
56 points and a half is too many. If you've got to score over 112 to win, and that's what they're on par to do, that's too many. So they've got to figure out a way to change it. And you don't just do it by what you're doing on the defensive end. Yes, that has to pick up. And like I said, you pick up points, the ball pressure, those things come into the equation. But as you mentioned, Copes, also how you can change the tempo when it's in your control, when you've got the ball, and the type of shots and when you're going to shoot it. At what stage of the shot clock are you looking to get some, to get your looks? Those types of things come into the equation as well.
A bad shot, Jack. Transition offense for the Sydney Kings. They swing that ball, and you're done. And that's what's been happening the whole first half.
Derek spoke about it earlier. 14 assists on 22 made field goals in the first half. There's a turnover and an easy bucket for Brisbane to start the third.
Well, that was only the 4th turnover for the Sydney Kings for the game. They only had 3 in the first half. And just like that, simple middle on ball and the roll off, and then throwing it up.
I know I've said this 5 times, but is that too easy? It just looks so easy.
Well, that'll happen from time to time. It's just happening too regularly in this game. But we all know that when you've got elite level players, that's that on ball there. You're in those drops.
He's in between places here.
But that's where great shooting hurts you, because if you don't have a great shooter there, Sobey comes right in, tags the roller, and it makes it a lot harder. But when your lights out from the perimeter, you have a tendency just to hedge a little wider and make it harder to help. But I like that. Get to the advantage when you switch.
Punish the switch every time.
It is, and that time they got Adams down low on Harrison, and it's easy for him.
7 points for Tyrell Harrison. Starters minutes tonight with no Aaron Baines. Shot clock at 5, which is an eternity for Jalen Adams. He takes the bump. Jalen Galloway, Copes, as we take a look here at the replay. spent some time in the Summer League playing with Minnesota. Now, you've been to the association. You both have, obviously, but what does a young man like Jalen Galloway learn about his own game, but also learn about what it might take to get to the NBA based on that Summer League experience?
Well, when you're playing against the best talent in the world, then obviously you're going to get better. And it showed. I mean, his confidence now back here in Sydney shows that he's grown over this summer. Offensively, defensively, 3.5 steals a game, you know, and he's athletic already. So to go over there and learn from those guys only helps him as a better player here.
And he's done his apprenticeship. First couple of seasons, 5 minutes a game. Last season went up to 15. Now he's at 26 minutes a game or thereabouts. So he's been incrementally improving and earning his minutes with what he does. He's got that NBA talent. There's a breakdown. And again, it comes from a mismatch. You got Hunter out the top trying to guard a guy that can put the ball on the floor.
60-48. Minute and a half gone in this third quarter at Nissan Arena. Both teams 2-1 to start the season. Valentine cruises past Harrison for an easy 2.
He's quietly acclimatizing. Quality player, had the 10 assists in that first game. He can do it all. The thing I love about him the most is that he's so unselfish and is decent at this end of the floor and can guard multiple positions.
So he's third in the competition, Drewy, for assists. So he backs that up. For those who follow the plus-minus game, he's got the best plus-minus in the competition after the first 2 rounds. Harrison takes the bump and one.
That had me a little bit nervous on that one, but he got it done, didn't he?
And look at the replay. Retreating, and that's yeah, it's an interesting one.
Why? What do you think? He's so far under the basket.
He's almost that far under the basket. When you're driving like that, to me, yeah, I wouldn't mind if it was a no call. Made the basket, sort of didn't impact the shot all that much.
Didn't hurt Sydney, other than the foul to Geordie Hunter, which is his third, so that does hurt them in that respect.
Hook, offensive foul. So another turnover. This time it's on Valentine, gets called with the left arm coming out and hooking the defender. Sobey it was.
2 for Denzel Valentine. As we said, Geordie Hunter has 3. Angus Glover has 2. Shannon Scott has 3 fouls for the Bullets, which will explain. We haven't seen a stack of him. Smith from long range.
Ooh.
Valentine ran out of options.
A lot of contact on that one with Sobey drive.
Sydney told to push the basketball at all costs. Valentine with room. It's good.
And that's the thing that Derek was talking about with Rocco. He's got to make you put the ball to the floor. Yeah, you might be vulnerable for the drive, but rely on the help.
Denzel Valentine now up to 8 points. Sydney continue to shoot the ball well from deep, 47%. That'll be an offensive foul. He's been doing it for a very long time, Mitch Norton.
And he's very good at it.
On the Harvey Norman replay.
This is the one. See, he's using his length, but when they're wide hot and Valentine, he can shoot it. Just go out even tighter. Go out even tighter, overplay the middle, know where you're going to get beat. If you're going to get beat down the baseline and rely on the help. This time, Jonah Bolden a little out of control, and I give half the blame for that offensive foul to the passer.
Absolutely.
Don't give it to the... You could see there was going to be traffic there.
Don't give it to the 5-man coming down the court either.
It's Galloway with those hands. Yet again, he has got a nose and an instinct for the ball, and just in the right place, and those gadget arms just seem to find... Whoop, there he goes. And he just extends them out, and he's all over the place.
How was it? What was it?
Well, just, you know, and they just extend.
Tonight's commentary comes with sound effects as well, Coach.
My goodness.
It's DJ Mitchell starting tonight. No Aaron Baines was ill for one of Brisbane's 2 games last week. 65-52. Noy with his head down to the basket. Zakarsky reels that in. And the little floater drops at the other end.
Nice touch with a big fella.
That was all about Mitch Norton down the other end. Took away the penetration from Adams and set the tone on the defensive end. Mitch Norton's in complete... Watch Mitch Norton right now. He's in complete denial mode, not offering any help.
Mitchell buries the 3, and it's back within single figures for the first time in a long time. But then you've got that.
If you're gonna, when you got the MVP coming at you, that drops it's too low. You got.
I've said it already. You cannot have drops with him. As soon as he comes off that screen, double the ball, make him swing it. He's too comfortable.
3 seconds by Rocco.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay.
That was the made basket by Rocco, and then this is where you start to get some energy in the building. Like you mentioned, cut it to single digits on the 3-ball, and the MVP just does MVP things. Not sure what was going on in Europe, what they didn't like about this man, but certainly here in the NBL, the tempo, pace of play.
You can stay here for as long as you like, Jalen.
Gee whiz.
Don't worry about Europe anymore, son. Stay here and play with us. Noy, not the first time, and certainly not the second time.
Big fella says no, sir.
Let's go again. Reload.
Give me that.
It's only taken him the space of 3 games, and he's become an absolute favourite with the Bullets faithful at Nissan Arena. Kings by 10. Bolden over the top. Pushes that lead back out to 12. Alice Kunek courtside.
Well, isn't Rocco Zakarsky just an absolute talent? He's doing it at both ends of the floor. Now, Rocco comes from a pedigree of parents. His dad is German, and he was an Olympic bronze medalist, and his mum is an Australian Iron Woman champion. They've taught him to trust the process, stay on the long journey, and I think his future is very, very bright.
It's a pretty decent pedigree right there.
It is. He'd have an engine in him. That is wonderful DNA.
7'3". Wow. Big boy.
The engine might need a little bit of petrol put back into it at the moment. Looks a little spent. He's 17 years of age. The product of an Olympic swimmer and an Iron Woman.
Wow. Combination. Excellent lung capacity. You suspect.
Smith from outside. Started the game well, Chris Smith. Has 12 points. He's Brisbane's leading scorer. 2 of 6 from deep. Tui never panicked, always in control.
Nice, easy shoot.
Basketball IQ. That's what he has too. He's come through that Centre of Excellence program. And good size, and you can see the touch.
Here's the IQ on.
Whoa.
And there's the talent on full show.
There we go. There we go.
Alex Tui.
Oh my glory-filled days. That is special. The body control, the twirl, the composure, the athleticism with the finish to go upstairs and tuck it in. Here we see it, little step back. There's my touch, NBA. You can see that. That's on show. But have a look at this in transition. Oh my, the spin. Smith. He has put him on the rotisserie and it's gone upstairs and stuffed it in.
More than the rotisserie, in the words of someone we know, that was the lazy Susan that Alex Tui pulled out there. Let's get courtside to Derek Rucker with one of the greats of Australian basketball.
Thanks for taking so much time there, Drewy. But anyway, I'm back to Australian icon Andrew Bogut. Bogue, you got to be happy with this performance thus far.
Yeah, it looks much better than the last couple of games. A bit clunky early on in the season, but we're moving the ball well, and the tempo is really high right now for us offensively.
We just saw an amazing play from Alex Tui, the next star. Let's go back in time. Coming out of high school, what would you have done if the Next Stars program was around?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, if I was in the NBL during my prime, who knows what could have been. Funnily enough, that was a goal for me growing up as a kid, was to play in the NBL, but ended up getting in the NBA, which is great.
Looking at this performance tonight by the Kings, are they ahead of where you thought they might be thus far in the season? You had a lot of off-season changes, including the coach.
Definitely not. I don't think we are. I think we're still scratching the surface. New coach, new system. Don't forget we've got DJ at home, resting his shoulder, so it's all coming together. The guys are learning on the fly. Haven't played our best basketball yet.
And you really like Jalen Galloway's chances to be a most improved player candidate this year.
Lock it in, 100%. He's had a tremendous start. I think he's shooting 60% from three at the moment, leading the league in steals. He continues this form, it's a no-brainer.
Now, obviously, you run the Rogues Boats podcast, very popular, but I might make a comment. Have you gone a little bit quiet and mild on social media lately?
I wouldn't say that. Just been busy with other projects, but I'm sure I'll fire some people up in the next couple of weeks with another tweet.
Look forward to it, Bogues. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Be careful what you wish for, Derek.
I know. About to say, Derek, you better just calm down, bro, because
12 of 25 from outside tonight as Sobey calls the whistle and he's a little frustrated, but he got the call. Coach, this is offense in its most pure form right now.
it is, but you know what, Jack? More importantly, the defense is just not that good. I don't understand how. I don't know what defense they're playing where when the guy gets a shot, he's that wide open. Okay, forget about the switches. Now let's just play man-to-man. You got this guy, you got that guy. If you can't guard him, then let me find someone that can, but there's no way these guys, the way Sydney shoot the ball, they can get that many wide open shots.
Well, the numbers are impressive. 54% overall and 48% from threes. So
there'll be plenty of teams shooting 48% from the three-point line, trust me.
And this is that small lineup that you're talking about for the Brisbane Bullets that they're having a look at right now.
Mitchell, White, Norton, Sobey, McDaniel, Sydney Glover, Bruce, Noy, Tui and Bolden. 17-point lead to the visitors. Bruce from deep. The only one not to hit a three tonight, Sean Bruce. Sobey with the left hand. More free throws to come. Just from a defensive point of view, to back that point up, Coach. In the first couple of rounds of the season, Brisbane was second in the competition for points allowed. 81 per game was the average. They've allowed 76, and there's still 2 minutes left in the third quarter tonight.
He's not going to win you a lot of games. I mean, yes, they've done well. They're 2-1 right now, and they've won games on their offensive skill, but if you can't stop guys and you're giving guys 76 points with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, you're going to have a problem throughout the year because that's just way too many points.
Derek Rucker.
And Jack, you know, the Bullets have struggled with Sydney over the past few years. It's been nothing for Sydney to come in here and drop a hundy on them without breaking a sweat. We saw that massacre last year where the Kings came and won by 49. And then the next closest game, I believe, up here was Kings by 17. I think they dropped 102 in that game. And so, you know, they've changed the personnel. They've changed the coach. Sometimes an organization just feels good coming into your house.
Yep. That is right, Derek.
When we first started, Coach, remember the Canberra Cannons, it took like 9 years before we actually beat them in the NBL. So it can be a little bit like that, even when you have different lineups for whatever reason. And Alex Tui.
Just putting on a show, isn't it?
Oh, dear. The hang time, the patience, the control. And this is...
the maturity for his age to be making shots like this and spinning in the lane and dunking the ball.
He knows the contact's coming. He welcomes the contact and then just eases it up with the right hand and kisses it off the glass and gets to the end one. Sometimes young guys, they get rushed and they just go up there and just make bad decisions. He doesn't make them.
I think it's fantastic that he came back and played with the Sydney Kings, but imagine him in college, though. Imagine him playing like this in college. You'd have every scout in the world looking at him.
Hunter whistled for foul number 4. Just wonder whether the Kings might take a look at this one.
Here we go, fellas. 2 shots. 26-yard shooter. Line them up. 2 shots.
The voice of Ken Widget you can hear out there tonight. Daryl Millard and Vaughan Mabry.
There's a fair bit here. There's actually
Ooh.
Foul.
Huh? A lot of contact. A little bit.
Let's get courtside Alice Kunik.
You guys spoke about Alex Tui, and isn't he an impressive young man? He's a Canberra junior. He went to the COE, obviously forgave that Gonzaga scholarship, but isn't he thriving in the NBL? He's got full credit to the Sydney Kings and their trust and belief in him. He's really enjoying it, but what I've been most impressed with is his effort on the defensive end. He's solid, and he doesn't look like he's getting beaten out there.
Absolutely, Alice. You're exactly right. For his age, he's just so mature. I mean, he looks like he belongs here for not long, though. He'll be in the NBA for soon.
And Coach, I'm not sure. You mentioned, I imagine what it'd be like if he was at Gonzaga. I think that the way the Sydney Kings play and the style of play and what he can bring to the table, I think he's got a better opportunity to showcase his skills right here than he would at the University of Gonzaga, albeit at a much, not a much, but a lower level of competition.
Speaking of bright youngsters, we're just talking about a 19-year-old. There's a 20-year-old, Jalen Galloway, who now has 12 points and he's plus 16 tonight. Zach White, foul.
Times have changed, Joey. Back in our day, 17, 18-year-olds would have got smacked upside the head. You're not scoring on me like that. There's no way I'm going to let you put me in a spin and dunk on me, brother. It's not going to happen.
Well,
times have changed.
It is extraordinary when you see these young players coming through the ranks and just the level of athleticism.
And your point on Tui, same applies for Jalen Galloway. Rocco's obviously very tall and will build out, but you look at, say, Ben Henschel in Perth.
Yes.
How physically ready these guys are as well, Drew.
Oh, that's right, and it's because from a very early age they're getting involved in programs, and the coaching right around the country is exceptional. And if they do have the access to the centre of excellence, but even that next level below, the coaching and the organisations at the NBL1 level providing good opportunities for the development of these players.
Adam scores.
How sweet was that?
Doing whatever he likes tonight.
Oh, having fun. They're having fun.
There it is, trying to go over the top of the screen, and just that little connection gets the separation. The help's there, but it's too late and it's too low. But it's understandable because he's spreading the floor, and you spread the floor, they find the open player on the three-point line, and it's been difficult. The 17 points that Peter Hawley mentioned, 17 threes made from the three-point line, under a little bit of threat. We've got the 12 now. 12 of 26 for the Sydney Kings.
Well, we got another quarter to go, Drew.
That's true.
Blocked by Galloway. Are you saying that Halls might have sort of put the cooler on it a little bit?
No, but they have slowed down a little from the three-point line, but they're getting into the paint now.
Isaac White on the move. Has Mitchell catch and shoot. The Kings happy to absorb a little bit of time. They've absolutely dominated this game since quarter time. They're led by 4 into the first term. It's going to be a big lead that they take into three-quarter time now. Adams inside for Glover. Sensational.
Just so easy, George. Just so easy.
It is, and that's the extra pass we were talking about. Adams could have easily gone up and made it, but tries to get Glover going.
DJ Mitchell knocks down a 3 to finish the quarter. But it's the Kings who are flexing their offensive muscles. They lead at three-quarter time, 85-67. A reminder as well, we've got Perth and Melbourne coming up straight after this. It's NBL Fridays here in the Hungry Jacks.
Take it. Sorry, hang on a sec. Yep, Nash's fish tank cleaning service. Would you mind holding? Okay. All right. I like your style. Let's make some noise for Michael. $1,000 if he sinks the shot. Get low! No, that's my fault. I should have told you you can't bounce it in. That's my fault. Make some noise for Michael. How good is that? And if you want to be the contestant in their next point game, you'll see QR codes outside of the fun zone. Scan that. That's what he did. And you can have $1,000 thanks to Carnival Cruises.
Your chance to win, get to the fun zone at home games and scan the QR code at the entrance. All scans are entered into the draw to win a cruise, and one lucky winner each game will be selected to win $1,000. Just like that. All right, fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. On your feet!
85-67, three-quarter time at Nissan Arena in Brisbane, and the kids are all right. Alex Tui dominating in this third quarter for Sydney. He's now got himself to a very healthy 16 points, and Jalen Galloway alongside him has 12. The Kings well and truly in control. And everyone getting a lick of the ice cream tonight for the Kings.
Absolutely.
Derek Rucker courtside.
One of the beauties of this role is I get to get in there into the huddles and see how the coaches and players engage with each other. And down in the Sydney Kings huddle, as Sobi lets one fly, Coach Mahmoud Abdel Fattah is doing a great job. He's very smart. He's concise with his instruction, and his instruction this quarter is to hold the Bullets under 21 points. And Drew, you're a coach. If they go 21 points or more, I guarantee you he loses his mind.
Yeah, well, as long as if they keep their margin and they give up 21 but they get 41, he won't lose his mind quite as much. And when the offense, they see another three ball going down, you're right. They set these targets, and it's still in the early stages of the season. You're trying to develop the habits. So yeah, they're the ones you've got to make when you're playing catch-up.
Valentine looking to make it made 3, number 14.
He's only had the 6 shots, 3 of 6 from the field, got the 8 points, and he doesn't look like he's stressed or anxious, even though he's not getting his points.
Yeah, he's one of those players that just does everything. He's a stat filler. He'll have 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 points you're not worried about.
Is that a nice piece for this team, Coach, considering they've got the MVP in Jalen Adams?
It is, it is. I mean, a lot of times when you bring an import over, they feel like they need to carry the team. But I think he fits quite well with them, especially when you got an Adams playing the point guard.
And the challenge is going to be, and it's a wonderful challenge to have, is when Ho comes back, how in which you integrate him, because someone's minutes has got to go down. Because, you know, they've got to find some minutes for him. But he fits well into this system with his three-point shooting inside-outside.
Derek Rucker.
Hey, Drew, did you hear Cope say sometimes imports feel like they need to take over when they get out here? Hey, Cope, speak for yourself. You know that was your attitude. Not everybody thinks that way.
Dude, come on, man. Come on. You had a bit of that running through. In fact, I should say coursing through your veins.
There you go.
Galloway, that is sweet. 15 points now for Jalen Galloway on 6 of 8 shooting tonight.
I'm just impressed with the age. I keep bringing it up, and I probably won't say it again, but these young kids are just putting on a show, Drew. I don't get it.
Well, Galloway's had 4 seasons here.
Yeah, but he hadn't played a lot of minutes.
4th season. No, he hasn't. Well, last season he did, and a big part of a championship-winning team, and he's just grown from there. And you see the confidence in... Like before the start of this one, he was in the 60s for his
62% coming into tonight.
62, and
tonight he's 3 of 4, 75%.
Hands up, hands up!
That is some very good shooting.
What is he, 20, 21?
20.
20 years old. It's like playing against your little brother.
So he takes the contact.
No. He definitely won't be in this league. If he continues to shoot the ball like that, play the way he's playing, steals, athleticism, he won't be in the league long.
We're talking about Rocco Zikarsky's pedigree. Here's Sobey on the replay. Jalen and Kyron, his brother in Adelaide, their pedigree's pretty handy as well. Their dad played for the University of Hawaii.
They did. That's where he met his mum, Australian.
Who was an MVP of the Townsville,
yeah.
Back in 2001.
Really?
Back then, yeah. And she was in town last week. But came down to Victoria. Sobey. 18 points for him, 5 of 12 from the field.
One.
And he's got the 6 boards, but no assists in this one for Sobey. He's battled hard. He's a warrior.
Yeah, he is. Joey, as a head coach, what would be Shula's message at the end of this game? I'm considering it continues to stay like it is right now.
Well, clearly, as you see on this position here, is what they're doing on the defensive end has got to be a priority. We speak to Mac, or you in particular speak to Mac, and they've really built this team and prided themselves on the defensive end. And some days, it just doesn't come together.
Well, it certainly didn't come together today, did it? Didn't know that much.
Free throws to come for Harrison.
And they've got to turn it around quick. They've got to go in, have a look at the film, figure out what they need to do. And
because they're on a plane tomorrow.
I remember it was either Ken Watson or might have been the old man. He used to say, you never want to extend lousy defense. You never want to get up and have full court with lousy defense, but there is a balance in there somewhere in that I think you've got to try and have more ball pressure. More ball pressure, be more disruptive to get them out, your opponents out of the comfort zone. And yeah, you might get exposed every now and again, but right now it seems highly reactive with what they're doing. And I can understand why they're trying to perhaps not extend it, trying to pack it in, but right now they've done neither. They haven't taken away anything.
They're giving up too much. They're giving up the outside and the inside, which is not going to work.
Bolden loses the handle. Brisbane will play Melbourne on Sunday at John Cain Arena, and the Sydney Kings will host the Perth Wildcats as the second part of the Sunday doubleheader at Kudos Bank Arena. They had 14,000 fans there for their first home game last week, and they're expecting another really big crowd on Sunday.
That's a big Sunday, Jack. That is a big Sunday.
So he takes himself up to 21 points.
Sydney are taking the air out the ball, just trying to come down, move it around, and make sure they get a good shot every time down the floor.
Well, one of the positives of what we do see from the Bullets is DJ Mitchell. He's got some opportunities here tonight. He's got the 12 points, 4 of 6 from the field. So being able to get him going again is a positive.
Do you like him as a starter?
Well, obviously when Baines is there, what he also can bring to just that physical presence that he can bring. And that's a nice set. It's an elevator set where he's coming through the middle. They try to close the gap on the defender and get Smith a good look. And just starting to eat this league.
They've scored the last 9.
Really critical couple of minutes here for Sydney. They've just gone to sleep a little bit.
There is a pulse here for Brisbane. Sobey found McDaniel. And Tui put it into the stands.
There's that elevator play. You see Tui, he was trying to chase Smith, and the switch and the closeout comes a little too late. Daniel and Harrison just closing the gap as Smith comes through the middle of him and gets a good look.
The lead was as much as 22 only a few minutes ago. Brisbane have got it back to 14. Still plenty of time available for them. Shannon Scott blocked by Hunter. Smith with 4 on the shot clock. Kings get a chance to breathe again.
I know one thing, not trying to get the ball out of Jalen Adams' hand when you know what's going to happen. We know it before he knows it.
Almost to a point when you think about trying to do things differently.
Go double him and make him swing it.
Blitz it and rely on some rotation, scramble away, rather than just let him continue to beat you the same way.
In other words, make somebody else beat you. Now,
they can't do that.
Yeah.
But the MVP, he's looked MVP-ish tonight.
23 points.
They're only getting 2 shots here.
It's the game's leading scorer, Jalen Adams.
It's a good spin move. Good touch off the board.
Certainly a big turnaround. These two teams played each other at the NBL Blitz. One of the last nights of games, and Brisbane absolutely spanked Sydney that night, 105-76. I know they're pre-season games, but
did Jalen? I don't know if Jalen Adams played. Did he play that game? I think it was.
That was the night
he was throwing up or something.
Had a blood nose before the game and barely played in the first half.
Okay. False advertising, was it? Just let him know.
One.
It's a much better result tonight for Sydney.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the game, we will start the exciting session
23. 4 players, in fact, make that 5 players in double figures for the Kings. Sobey misses the layup. And Glover runs the floor and gets rewarded. Just as the Bullets were making a little push, Sydney have got it back out to an 18-point lead. 4.5 minutes left. Sikorsky trying to get his hands dirty.
Drew, you spoke about Baines missing the game and sometimes how that fires up a team. Well, it could happen on the other end as well. It could take the air out of a team as well.
It can, and it can go either way. And we see a hit, and they're going to have to stop the game here. Glover, top one, as it trying to stop Sikorsky.
97-81 at Nissan Arena. Snooze timeout.
Well, obviously he took a hit to the midsection, maybe a knee.
It's Glover.
A high knee.
There was a 7'3" runaway train coming at him.
No.
He had the courage to stand on the tracks.
Well, he did. Well, sacrifice your body for the team. And I think he's in pain. He is, and not sure whether that's one of those get the wind knocked out of you or you get it in the sensitive area. But either way, he's in some discomfort.
A 16-point lead to the Sydney Kings, but there's Angus Glover, who's in some serious discomfort. Here's the incident. Rocco Zikorsky.
Oh, right in the guts. Hopefully it's just knocked the wind out of him. And there's nothing more than that to it. And that's sacrificing your body for the team.
No stranger to playing through pain. Angus Glover.
That hurt me.
He'll take a seat on the bench. Adams has this thing on a string. Successful that time, though. Mitchell lays it up. It's back to 14 once again.
It was. It is, I should say. And that was just a touch tardy on the D-trans that time by the Kings. That's going to be an offensive foul.
A little bit of momentum building for the Bullets. Derek Ruckett courtside.
Well, I've been in this situation with Angus Glover before. Last year, Championship Series, Game 5. And Drew, you wouldn't believe it, but he's got another chest lower rib injury. Same thing. Actually, he just said to me it's the same thing as almost last year. So he's just struggling to get his breath and just trying to get himself together and maybe get back out there to help this Kings team close this game out. But how ironic.
Valentine. Sobey misses at one end. Valentine splashes at the other.
I don't know if that was a great shot.
No, it wasn't. It was a quick one by Sobey, but also the one by Valentine early in the set when the clock's working in your favour, but they get the advantage. Smith with the response.
That's a better look. Still a high clip that both teams are operating at from deep. Sydney shooting at 45%. Brisbane 39%. Good numbers. Johnny Hunter ruins that for Sydney. Smith again. Time off the back of the iron. Kings take control with 2 minutes remaining.
And Jalen Adams and the Sydney Kings, they're looking now to get a shot in that last 6 seconds. They'll play around with it unless something wide open presents, but they're just trying to use the clock. Oh, got it as easy as you'd like.
Sobey for Smith. Feet set. Yes. They're back within 11. 1:49 remaining for the Bullets. It's going to take something very special from him.
Well, I like the fight. I like the fight. Shows that they're
staying with it.
They're staying with it. Yep, absolutely.
Smith's been good. 21 points. 5 of 11 from the three-point line. That time has a chance to get the fingers right on the ball, go up, and that's a practice drill for him. That wide open.
5 made threes tonight for Chris Smith.
Blood is back, which is good.
Mitchell stole it from Valentine. Cavalry arrives. Sobey makes it a 9-point game.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any timeouts. It's a bad shot.
Not if it goes.
No, it's not. It's not a bad shot when it goes in.
That'll calm the nerves of Sydney Kings supporters, no doubt. Here's Sobey at the other end. They won't go down, Brisbane.
It is just raining threes.
We're going back to the baseline, are we? Oh, let's go, yes. Sorry. Last 2 minutes, we are.
Coach Abdel Fattah just asking a couple of questions, trying to keep everyone honest.
What did Hooley say? What number was Hooley?
The number was 17. There's 16 now for the Kings. Bullets have done a decent job of trying to reel it in as well. They're 13 of 31. So a good three-point shooting night for both teams.
13 seconds left on the shot clock. Jalen Adams surveys his options and Mitchell fouls.
One thing they have seen with Denzel Valentine, a couple of times he's ball handling and in the backcourt. And with the way in which they want to run the floor, and whoever gets it has a license to push it down the floor, but he's one that in this type of situation, when you're trying to play catch-up, that you throw a double team at him, make him make some decisions, because he's had for all the great things he's done. He's had a couple of, not just in this game, but what we've seen him so far, he can be a little out of control when he's...
And you don't expect that from a guy who's played that many years in the NBA. I mean, you think he'd be able to bring the ball down the court. But he has had a couple of turnovers that, if teams are watching, can hurt them.
Oh, no. Oh, that's inexcusable. It's one thing to get a no board on a free throw. It's another thing for the actual free throw shooter to get it.
White 5, 2 hands in the back.
Foul on Angus Glover. So everyone's been saying that the Kings are going to take a little bit of time. They're building and all that sort of stuff. We're into round 3 now. This is their 4th game of the season. Where have you both got?
I've got them as game as an absolute contender. A long way to go. And what's Hope? The impact that Hope's going to have on this team, we don't know just yet. But there's no reason to think why it won't be a very, very positive impact. So they're only going to get better with their talent, and they've been pretty good. And anytime you come out and shoot the ball like they have from the three-point line, like they have tonight, it's tough to stop. And they look unselfish, they look together, and it's been impressive start to the season for them. They had a bit of a hiccup for them against Tasmania, but I think that's underestimating the jack jumpers.
Correct.
The jack jumpers are the real deal.
Yep.
I honestly, I must admit, I didn't think the Kings were going to be as good as they are right now. I can put my hand up and say, no way, because when you change your starting five and your head coach, generally it gives you, it takes you a long time to get back to where you need to get to. Great bench players, yes, fantastic. But you got a new starting five, a new head coach. They're playing a lot better than I thought they would, so I got to give them credit.
Shout out to the jack jumpers as well, too. I know they're only in their 3rd season, but on top of the table for what I believe is the first time ever in jack jumpers history.
Is that right?
Don't quote me if it's wrong.
That is...
I'm certain I got told that today.
Well, they've certainly had an unbelievable start to their time in the NBL, coming back into it. And again, last night, they put on a clinic.
They put on a clinic for the weekend. Last weekend, they won 2 in a row. My pick, my MVP of the year.
Milton Doyle.
Milton Doyle. I think I'm the only commentator to pick him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm taking credit for it right now.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Galloway thought about it. And Tui bumped. Points are good.
And this is what you have to do. If you're looking to win the game, you're going to have to gamble in the backcourt, and it may lead to these situations, but it's what you're doing to give yourself a chance. And the pass leads to a 2-on-1 situation. And Tui, again, just showing some composure. Knew the trailer was coming after him. Do we have an issue with the free throws with Tui? Have we got an area where we just might need to tidy up?
Always room for improvement.
Of course there is.
He's young. He's got plenty of time.
Kings will improve their record to 2 wins and 2 losses for the season. They host Perth on Sunday afternoon at Kudos Bank Arena. We're going to see the Wildcats next. They play Melbourne United. As soon as we finish up here, John Casey, Trevor Gleeson, Damian Martin in the house for that one.
Superstars, probably superstars.
More important, Bryce Cotton, Alex Sarr, Chris Golding. Looked like he was getting back to his better form, albeit that they got overrun. How are they going to bounce back from that loss to the Jackies?
Didn't he only take 1 shot in the second half?
In the first half, he was the Chris Golding that we've come to know.
I asked this question last time I was on TV, online. I said, imagine Drury taking 1 shot in the second half. I think they probably
wouldn't happen.
We'd still be fighting right now. 20 years later.
Like a Haley's Comet.
20 years later, bro.
Well, between you, me, and Derek, I don't think that's ever happened. Alice may join the party as well, but
yeah. Oh, we got it up. There's no joke about it. No line about it.
That first year with Derek Rucker and Andre Moore, my God, called Derek Haley's Comet. Only passed every 76 years.
You know he's coming back.
All of this.
You know he's coming back.
I can hear ears. But what a find. He thoroughly deserved his MVP in that season as well.
Don't come back now.
He's a superstar.
He certainly is.
But why would you be passing when you're doing the work that D-Ruck was doing?
Biggest lead in the game for Sydney was 22, which was early in the 4th quarter. So, yes, they won't win the Brisbane Bullets, but they've restored a bit of credibility in this last quarter in the process.
Well, you asked the question about what's going to happen with the coach, because you said their target was to keep him to 21.
That was Derek. Yeah, Derek.
Well, what do they got now? 30, 31, 32? So they were going to come away with a win.
Let me tell you something. If they get this win, he won't be too upset.
Jalen Galloway. 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, plus 15.
Smart by Adams. Knew that they were going to be pushing. Sobey gets it and just wants to push it real quick, but Adams reads it perfectly and comes away with the steal. Sobey's battled his heart out. He got 26. 8 of 17 from the field. Go along with 7 boards, so he's worked his tail off.
I got to ask a question. Now, if Brisbane had Baines, do you expect a different outcome? Would it have been a different game? Would it have been because Sydney liked to push that ball. I don't know if Baines is the type of 5-man that could.
We can compete a little bit better. You know, he provides that presence on the boards and maybe slow him down a little bit. And I just think his experience out there, the way in which that he can bang and use his body, and you know, he plays on that thin edge, and we saw he tip over that edge last game. He plays on that edge where he's out there. He's an intimidating factor. That's the beauty of it. That's what's made him so great. And in these situations, when you see what Aaron Baines can do, I think it makes a difference.
One.
Glover makes both. Chris Smith with one last attempt. Isaac White picks up the loose ball. The Sydney Kings take their record to 2-2 for the season in an offensive feast. 113-102. They beat the Brisbane Bullets at Nissan Arena.
They did, and the damage was done in the first half. They set the tone with the way in which that they were able to take advantage of the offensive transition. They pushed the ball, they got into the paint, the defense collapsed, the kick out, and they knocked down threes. It's simple basketball, but it takes great skill in order to be able to execute it. Got a little sloppy in the last. The defense went off the ball a little bit, but it was an impressive road win for the Sydney Kings, and for the Brisbane Bullets, hey, 102 points and you still lose by 11. So the focus on the defense is going to be a talking point, but how they can also manage the tempo with their offense also is a factor for them.
Let's get over to Derek Rucker. He's got our Foot Locker player of the game.
Foot Locker player of the game, Jalen Adams. Slow start to the season down in Illawarra, but my, oh my, you're starting to bring it now. Started off last Sunday with a good fourth quarter, and then tonight, 28 big points and a victory here against the Bullets.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, I didn't really have a preseason. I've been saying it for a couple times, so it was going to take me a minute to get my legs under me. And tonight, my teammates set good screens, got me open, and I'm glad we can come away with the win.
We talked during the broadcast about the Bullets defensively, but I feel like this is a good place just to hoop. What's Nissan Arena feel like to you?
I think the atmosphere is incredible. You know, those dark backdrops, those for shooters. So I think just the energy in here, the way that they play, it's a fast-paced game, so you got to love playing here. And it's the only gym I ain't get a win in yet, so that was on my mind for sure.
All right, Jalen, great game. Back to you, Jack.
Sydney Kings winners tonight, and they've still got DJ Hope to come back into this team. 113-102 the final result. We're back to wrap it up on the other side of this in the Hungry Jacks NBA.
Okay, Susie, she's got Chris down there. Over to you.
Chris, not the result we're after tonight, but 21 points from you and some absolute sharp shooting. How did it feel out there?
It's great, teammates, coaches did a good job trying to run good plays and trying to do well. We just have to put it together for all that.
We've said it before and we'll probably say it many times, but how much energy did this crowd give you, particularly in that last quarter?
The crowd is great. It always is the reason we feel that, extra energy at the end of the game. So we just got to keep it up and give it all to you guys.
Tonight was a special night being blackout round where we were raising awareness for mental health. The jerseys from all the players will be auctioned off at the end of tomorrow. How proud are you to be wearing a jersey like this tonight?
Oh man, it's great, especially for the cause that it is for us. So just, couldn't get it done, but instead of we all gave it all.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, the Black Dog Institute are the only medical research institute in Australia to investigate mental health across the lifespan. Their aim is to create a mentally healthier world for everyone. To show your support.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Big win tonight for the Sydney Kings, 113-102 over the Brisbane Bullets. The two-time defending champions are just starting to build nicely as they look to become only the third team in NBL history to win 3 straight championships. Offensive weapons all over the floor. Very, very sharp performance, and that is what's coming up next as the Perth Wildcats play host to Melbourne United inside RAC Arena. Big game for the Wildcats, both the Webster brothers back, and Melbourne looking to bounce back after last Sunday's loss. That's what's coming your way on the other side of this. On behalf of Andrew Gaze, Leonard Copeland, Derek Rucker, Alice Kunik and our team, thanks for being with us, but do not go far. It's Perth and Melbourne next.